Hello, what's up? Uh, Been a long time coming. I have realized that it is not uh, easy to time manage the hustle and starting a YouTube channel, but that's okay. I don't mind a little hard work and the grind. And hey, this is just video number 3 actually. I haven't posted number 2. I actually ran out of space because I have to record on the phone. But anyway, I want to make a kind of addendum to the Bethesda purchase video because I made that video after watching a YouTube channel that was, announcing and talk about the purchase, and you go onto the chat section and you look in the comment or see what's being said, and it was just a lot of fanboy stuff going on. And so my response in my Bethesda purchase video was solely in response to a few people who came across as possibly just Xbox fanboys or just supporters of Microsoft, and really probably excited about the purchase. But in their excitement about the Bethesda purchase, they saw fit to trash and bash the PlayStation 5. Now, honestly, I shouldn't even bothered me, but I just thought it was a little weird. On one hand, like I said, it shouldn't bother me. On the other hand, it's like nobody really wants to, say you're getting ready to buy a new car and you've done all your research on it, or as much as you could, and you're pretty confident about the purchase you're gonna buy, and then somebody's out here talking about, oh man, that car you finna buy ain't nothing, it's trash, it's crap. You're gonna probably say something. So, so I did a little research, Google search, I should say, instead of research, but there are still some reputable sources on the internet. You almost have to research what you search when you're looking online. And it was pretty easy to find sales figures and sales numbers for the consoles, Sony consoles, Xbox consoles. I mean, it's a billion-dollar industry, the video gaming industry, and there's a lot of journalism and a lot of sources that their whole job is to track these kind of things and report on it. So, and with the internet, it also kind of helps people sometimes be accountable. If you put out bad information, people will, start doing their homework and find out and say, hey, this isn't right. So that being said, I've checked and double checked, my sources, and I was right. So the last 3 consoles, Sony PlayStation versus Xbox, the first Xbox, PS2, actually it was PS2 versus the first Xbox, I think, and then Xbox 360 versus PS3, and then Xbox One versus the PS4. And in every race, Sony came out the winner. In the case of the 360, in its prime, the 360 was above, but the whole extent the sales kept going, PlayStation 3 ended up edging out over the 360 just by a little bit. But that was not the last generation. That was 2 generations ago where it was close. This last generation wasn't close at all. The PS4 handedly overdid the Xbox One. And you would think, after being crushed in the Xbox versus PS2, then in the Xbox 360 coming real close and almost being seen as a winner, according to some people thought that was the case. But if you check the most updated sales numbers, the PS3 won, you would think that, oh look, they're right there with Sony, they'd probably win this next one. And when Xbox One came out against the PS4, that was not the case, and it was a huge gap. And Nintendo did even better than both systems with the Wii and with the I think even with the Switch. But again, whole demographic difference, and also with the Switch and the Wii, more people were just buying them, price point, a lot of different other factors. I was talking to different people when it came to the Switch. People would buy multiple ones for each kid, versus with a console like a Xbox or a PlayStation, you're just buying one for the family. You're not buying, 2 and 3 for each kid, or 1 and 2 for each kid. So But again, you know, I was not trying to slam or bash the Xbox, but I did want to state some of the facts. And you know, so I was probably a little harsh. So I will obviously dial back on that. Also, I want to point out the fact that back here is Heavenly Sword, an awesome PS3 game that I'm gonna probably just mention a couple things, but you know, yeah, I'll just save that for another video. But again, just to you know, say in regard to the Bethesda purchase, I was also wrong in some of the things I was saying, in meaning like Bethesda's not going to care about making money off of their games or not, because Bethesda technically doesn't exist anymore. They're purchased by Microsoft, so they keep the name and keep the people and everything, but they're owned by someone else. So their bottom line and what they make profit-wise, it's now all under Microsoft, so it really doesn't matter about them selling a game for $70 or not. They don't care. But you know, it's still going to be interesting to see long term how that purchase works. Also, in doing more research in regard to the Xbox new console and the system and everything, Xbox Series X, I just watched like a 17-minute video on all of the games coming out for like the next 3 years on the Xbox, and there were 17 games that they released. They said 20 games, they're going to be releasing 20 exclusive games somewhere between now and halfway into the next console generation. That's the way they said it, which was interesting. Halfway to the next generation. So they're already thinking about the next generation. But, and you know, the interesting thing was 17 games that I saw in this, almost 20-minute video or something, or no, it was 27 games. Anyway, there were a lot of games. I want to say it was a lot of games. They were all first-person shooters, all but the Forenza of the racing game and the RPG Elder Scroll, which is, you know, not due for what, 4 years or so, and what was the other RPG game, Fable. Those are 3 games out of close to 20 games that are not first-person shooters. And all of the first-person shooters, save one, was really dark. Meaning like it's all like sci-fi aliens or horror-related kinda, or, you know, kinda demented. I wrote some of them down. What was it? Grounded, Everwild, Flight Simulator. Those were some of the lighter ones. Flight Simulator, you know, that's not a first-person shooter. It's a flight simulating game. But Hellblade, Project Mara, Gear Tactics. There's your third-person shooter, Gears of War. But it's already out on PC, I guess. Some of these games are actually already out on PC. State of Decay 3, not due to 2022-23. Forenza, I don't know how to pronounce that. 21-22, maybe. Fables 23-24. Elder Scrolls, they don't know. But again, so what I come to realize, which I think I realized some time ago, is if first-person shooters is not your go-to genre of games, and dark, like Resident Evil type of things, if that's not your go-to game that you spend most of your time playing, maybe Xbox console is not your preference or preferred console, you know. And I think that's what the case is for me, and from looking at the numbers, the case for a lot of people. And I think that's going to come across in this generation coming up here in November. I think that's what's going to be seen again. I at least the way I'm looking at it, I think that's something that either they know and don't care, or I don't get it, because PC gamers, a lot of the PC games are first-person shooters, you know. I mean, and as far as like 120 frames per second has been on PC for a long time. You know, we're just getting it in this generation. It's been on, and we're not even there yet. We won't get it for like what, 3 or 4 years for some of these games. But you know, again, I think there's just a difference. I do think that ultimately both Sony and Microsoft gamers will enjoy their systems, will have fun, and it'll be good going forward. So anyway, I think I'm going way too long on trying to speak a little softer, better, more palatable in regard to the subject of the Bethesda purchase. But again, I think it's just a different, Microsoft is just taking a different direction, and I think time will show where that really places them in the gaming industry. And I think when it comes to the content of the games, the type of games, and how those games look and play, we're going to see what people prefer and where you find those games and where people are going to be playing most of the games. So I'm going to leave that for this video. I'm on to the next.